Good morning, Utah. I'm Jantzee Coggins.
And I'm Giles. Welcome to Newsbreak.
Coming up, what's happening on and around campus.
I'm Rachel Mon. When we come back, I'll share with you some tips that can help you get ready in less than 10 minutes.
When we return, I will tell you what neighborhoods are safe to drive through on your morning commute.
News produced by students for students. Brought to you from the Telecommunications Lab at the University of Utah.
The search continues for a new university president.
Ashley Hall will be talking to the lead dermatologist.
This is Newsbreak.
Welcome to Newsbreak, and here's what's new.
Fall semester is starting up at the University of Utah, and you won't want to be late for classes. Rachel Mon has some tips that will help you get ready for school.
Consequences of tardiness vary. Some teachers dock points. In some classes, quiz is the first thing, and if you miss it, there's no making up. An average of 20% or 6,500 students have class before 9 a.m. at the University of Utah throughout the week. Because of the parking issue, students are often late to class. I did a survey of 15 male and 15 female students at the University of Utah that commute from all around the valley. It takes them an average of an hour and a half to get ready and get to class on time. Only 6 out of those 30 students eat breakfast before they leave the house in the morning. If you set your priorities in the morning, you can have more time to get a good night's rest and get to class on time.
The thing for me to do when I wake up in the morning before I leave the house would probably be make sure my hair looks nice.
The most important thing that I do in the morning before I leave the house is brush my teeth.
The most important thing for me to do in the morning is to make sure I have my water bottle.
Some of our tips for getting ready in the morning are shower the night before, pick out what you're going to wear the night before and have it laid out, switch to instant coffee, do your hair the night before, shave the night before, and have your backpack packed and ready to go by the door. According to an article in USA Today, students need an average of 9 hours of sleep. It's not unusual to find college students pulling all-nighters. Only 11% of college students get quality sleep.
There's lots of research, particularly in high school students, small children, and even college students, that a good breakfast, meaning one that has a little carbohydrate, a little protein, is really important. The best inexpensive breakfast I can think of is oatmeal. Oatmeal with some fresh fruit on it, a little bit of sweetener, brown sugar, honey, whatever you like. Another quick one is a hard-boiled egg. Practice making hard-boiled eggs really quick. They're portable, they have some good protein. Pair it with a piece of toast, half a bagel, fruit, you're good to go.
If you set your priorities in the morning, you can get a good night's rest and have more time to find a parking spot. There is a way to still get 9 hours of sleep, eat a good breakfast, and be on time to class. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Rachel Mon.
Thank you for that, Rachel. With more tips on how to get your morning going faster, here's Dusty Overman.
Few things are more important to a college student than getting to class on time, but in order to make it through your busy day of classes, you're going to need a healthy breakfast. Most nutritionists suggest a healthy start with whole grain, eggs, dairy, vegetables, anything healthy. So what I've done today is I've compiled a quick and easy suggestion that you can use your microwave. You don't even have to pull out the pans. So all I have is an egg, a whole wheat bagel, a whisk, a bowl for microwave safe, and saran wrap. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna break the egg right in here, whisk it up a little bit, make it all fluffy. You can add milk if you want to get your dairy in that way. You could even incorporate everything and put vegetables in there if you'd like. The only thing nutritionists want you to be wary of is hold off on the butter and the cheese to cut down calories. So then we're just gonna head over here to the microwave. Pop it in there for 1 minute and start your bagel. So here we have your whole wheat bagel and your over easy egg. You can add tomatoes, lettuce, or just plain ketchup if you'd like. And there's your bagel for on the run. Back to you guys. I'm Dusty with Newsbreak. Have a good morning.
Thanks for those tips, Dusty.
You know, Dusty had me try one of those, and they were pretty good.
Then I'll have to try one too sometime.
It is important for students to arrive at school on time. But Lauren Dean has the update on the importance of traveling to school away from neighborhood roads.
Assistant Vice President of Auxiliary Services, Gordon Wilson, wants students to avoid traveling through neighborhoods like Sunnyside and Yellcrest to cut down on their commute time to and from campus. Students and faculty need to make sure to take Foothill Drive instead.
When we talk to the community councils, they're very concerned because at the same time students are coming on campus in the mornings, their children are walking to school. And same time they may be leaving, their children are leaving or going, and also the quality of life in those neighborhoods, you know, how much traffic is too much traffic.
Director of Commuter Services, Alma Allred, suggested students change their school schedule to avoid high traffic times.
Part of the problem is, you know, most of the classes take place between 8:30 and noon. If they can change their schedule, get those classes to other times during the day, there isn't a parking problem here at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There is a parking problem early in the morning, though, because that's when everyone wants to come.
Allred said everyone's main priority should be to arrive on campus safe and sound. To do this, students and faculty who travel through communities, much like this one, need to plan on waking up 5 to 10 minutes earlier in order to find a safer route. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Lauren Dean.
Thank you, Lauren. If anyone has a question about commute or parking, please visit the Commuter Services website at www.parking.utah.edu. There's a lot of information on to get around campus in a safe and efficient way. Well, the Associated Students of the University of Utah provide assistance with students on campus needs. They also host service projects, concerts, movies, dances, and parties throughout the year. What we want to know is what's new with ASUU. Brett Fifield has more.
As a registered student at the University of Utah, you are automatically enrolled as an ASUU member. I'm here to find out what changes we can expect to see this fall.
Students are going to see a lot more transparency from ASUU. I think our biggest hurdle to overcome is we're not very user-friendly. We get your money and most people have no idea what happens after that. So that's a big change we're making this year, is trying to open up student government so you know what it is you have access to.
So we're really trying to make sure that we're building in a very inclusive campus here and making sure that no matter how a student identifies as, they can feel safe on campus. A second thing that I'm really excited about, and it's pretty fun, is our reusable utensils, which basically a student can purchase them for $2 at any Chartwell's locations and saves 5% off of every meal that they purchase. So they will pay back the utensils within a couple weeks. And the idea is that students then can be empowered in reducing waste. So I hope people really enjoy them. A lot of fun.
The ASUU holds weekly meetings Wednesday night at 6 p.m. and all students are invited to attend. This is Brett Fifield reporting for Newsbreak.
You can find more information about ASUU by visiting their website, asuu.utah.edu. We will be right back with more after the break.
After the break, I'll give you a look into this year's Holy War and its past.
What's all the construction about around campus? Stay tuned to find out.
3, 2, 1. I have now taken 4 different semesters. I've specialized in behind the camera, I specialized in front of the camera, and now I'm focusing on web-based material. There's a lot of more life experience in this, this class.
When you come in, it's not like, okay, we're here for another class. Let's go sit at a desk and take some notes. I'm here for, another chance to learn something new.
Welcome back to Newsbreak, where there's always something new happening at the University of Utah.
The BYU-Utah rivalry game is one of the most sold-out sports events in Utah. With more details, here's Austin Wolford.
After next year's BYU-Utah game, the teams will take a 2-year break from playing one another. I asked Deseret News columnist Brad Rock what he thought about the separation.
I thought I would never want the end of the rivalry, but the last few years it's kind of made me tired.
The first Utah-BYU game was in April of 1896. Since then, the teams have met 93 times. Utes lead the overall series 55-34 with 4 ties and have won 7 of the last 10 games. Brad explains why the Utes made a smart decision to take a break from the rivalry.
Utah has, they're scheduling 9 games they could lose every year, 9 Pac-12 games that are theoretically, a possibility of a loss. And then why would you want to schedule a 10th game that you got a 50% chance of winning?
The Utes have won the Holy War for the past 2 years. In 2010, they blocked a game-winning field goal attempt by BYU. And last year, the Utes dominated, winning 54-10. Brad gave us his prediction for this year's game.
I think that it's going to be a lot closer than last year. There were some early turnovers for BYU that hurt them, and they got a senior quarterback, which counts for a lot. So I think the big question is if that Utah defense can hold in low-scoring, close games. I think that Utah probably has a good chance of winning that game.
For a look behind the curtains, Jantzee Coggins shows you why blood is thicker than water.
The Whittingham name may be synonymous with Utah football now, but for nearly 2 decades before, there was at least one Whittingham either playing or coaching at BYU. So what does it take to make an entire family go from bleeding blue to red?
Well, my father was a coach at BYU, and so naturally, where your dad's employed, that's going to be where your allegiance is.
And BYU is exactly where their allegiance stayed for nearly 17 years, first through Kyle and then his younger brothers Kerry and Fred Jr.
All the brothers through BYU, and we all played there, so obviously we were loyal to BYU, but that unfortunate part's not necessarily how it really is. There's some loyalty there in the past, but the day my dad went to Utah, we're a very close-knit family. That's the day we all decided that we would cheer for Utah. Didn't leave BYU completely in the past, but of course our loyalties were with our father and with Utah at that point.
Without question, when my father, again, he got a coaching job here at University of Utah, I think it was 1992, and blood is thicker than water in our family, and so we all immediately made the change and supported my father, wherever he was at.
But with the Whittingham name can also come some pretty high expectations, especially when your uncle is not only the one that recruited you, but he's also your head coach.
I'm a positive person in general, but I still feel a little chip on my shoulder. I mean, he's not harder on me or easier on me than anyone else, but I still feel like I have something to prove to him, and that's what I work for every day in practices, to show that I belong here.
Myself and Kyle, we played for our father at BYU, so I know what kind of pressure there is playing for a father. Kyle's his uncle, and it's not quite the same situation, but I can appreciate that Jason's feeling the pressure and feeling that he needs to perform and show that he belongs.
Zero weight on my shoulders, a lot of weight on his shoulders. But I wouldn't say there's any more weight than anyone else on our football team to succeed. He's a competitive guy, and regardless of whatever circumstances he was under, he would want to play well and contribute to the football team.
What I'm trying to do now here is just prove myself to everyone out there that my uncle made the right decision in bringing me here, and that he didn't waste a scholarship just trying to bring a family member onto the football team.
Well, it takes a lot to change a person's loyalty between teams, and there is no doubt that Coach Whittingham has been beneficial to the U. The sounds of the Utah marching band echo throughout the tailgate lot before every football game. However, for the homecoming game against BYU, the Pride of Utah has a different routine for fans to be excited about. Trevor Phibbs has the story.
Many fans' knowledge of marching bands extends to watching Nick Cannon and Drumline. However, extensive preparation is needed for a homecoming performance. We caught up with members of the Pride of Utah and the Utah dance team before the Utes take on the Cougars in the big game.
We always go to the Ute Walk at the Gateway. It's a huge parade and a huge celebration with the whole community, and the whole band's there with us. And we do a lot of cheers and dances there, and we just like to get our crowd pumped up. We also have the pep rally at the Union that we always cheer and dance at to get everyone pumped up. It's kind of the same thing, but a lot of the more students come to that, and it's just a fun time, a good night to get our team pumped up and to get everyone pumped and just to have like a really good night. For the BYU game especially, we really want to be prepared and look really good. It's a long week. We have practice every day for about 3 hours along with the band. We all work really hard to sound good and to look good. But every day there's some activities for homecoming going on, and there's always something fun and something new.
Fans can expect to see a lot of just top-notch performance out of both groups. BYU has a very good band, as much as it pains me to say it. We have a very good band, so there's just going to be a lot of button heads, a lot of loud noises.
Halftime is obviously the marquee part of your show.
Yeah.
What's on the slate?
We're going to be, our opener is Carmen. Our dance feature for the dance team is called Amar Sincera Amada, I think. And the closer is Stan Kenton's El Congo Valiente. Carmen's a traditional classical piece that most people know. It's just been adapted for the field. Amar Sincera Amada is kind of it's a smaller tune that not a lot of people know about that once again has been adapted for them to dance to. And Stan Kenton is fairly widely known throughout the marching band world and the music world with his El Congo Valiente.
And then what are your expectations on the games? Do you think the Utes are going to pull
The Utes are
out?
going to win, yeah. I'm very confident.
Very
I think
confident.
we'll win.
A big win?
A win.
All
A
right.
win. We always like to see big wins, so I'll say big win.
Thanks, Trevor. I'm sure many students will keep an ear out for those songs at halftime. Students at the U will have to decide where to park on campus. The construction projects are making it more difficult than usual. Lauren Dean reports in the field about the new construction plans around campus.
The University of Utah is implementing a new north to south road to help with parking concerns. Campus commuters should expect major construction work surrounding Milton Benyon Hall, South Campus Drive, Wasatch Drive, and 1900 East.
We are looking at a north-south shuttle that will go through the center of campus to and from the exterior aspects of campus. That should even make it more appeal to students to say, okay, I can ride the TRAX train to the LDS Institute area there. The shuttle going north is right there. I can get on and ride to the inner part of campus. Wow, that's faster than parking my car and walking.
Director of Commuter Services, Alma Allred, said people are reluctant to ride the shuttle buses because they aren't sure when the buses will be coming or going. However, he wants to reassure campus commuters that all you need is a cell phone to get an exact arrival and departure time.
Anybody with a smartphone can look and see in real time when the next shuttle bus is coming along. Some people have been reluctant to ride a shuttle bus because they don't know what the schedules are. But when you have that on your hand, you can say, hey, this bus is going to be here in the next 20 seconds or next 30 seconds. That's helpful. If you just have a regular phone that doesn't give you web access and you can use just text, most of our stations, most of our shuttle stops have instructions on text messaging. You can send a text message and you will get a text message back within 10-12 seconds telling you how soon the next couple buses will be coming along.
The north to south road is not the only construction project Commuter Services is planning this year.
In the near future, we are building several parking structures on campus, and you probably heard about that. The idea is that we will locate those key locations on campus next to main roads so that it's convenient as much as possible during those busy times to get students in and out and give them a reasonable parking place.
If you have any questions about where construction might be on any given date, please visit faculties.utah.edu. Otherwise, there's a map provided for you at constructionimpact.utah.edu. This is Newsbreak's Lauren Dean. Back to you, Jantzee.
The construction impact map is a great way to help get around campus on your daily commute.
Well, that will certainly help me get around campus easier. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Justin Giles.
And I'm Jantzee Coggins. From all of us here at Newsbreak, have a good week, Utah.